Welcome back to ciLiving. You want your kids to be smart when it comes to money, but teaching them how can be a big part of the fun. Rikki Parker with the Children's Museum of Illinois is here with a hands-on learning activity. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the Children's Museum before we dive right in.
Yeah, so the Children's Museum is a hands-on learning facility. We have 27,000 square feet of exhibits and a ton of different programs throughout the year. The best way to keep up with it is just to follow us on social media, and you'll see all the amazing programs that we have to offer throughout the year.
Wonderful. And so today you have brought something to do with money management. So how does that work?
Yeah, so we actually have partnered with Parker Mathis Wealth Advisors and Decatur Earth Mover Credit Union to do our first community conversation. So one of the things that I really have kind of started to transition the museum towards is being a community resource and hub in the community. So we know that sometimes new parents or even experienced parents don't know where to start with their own money management, let alone teaching their kids money management. And so we are hosting on August 5th a program where Earth Mover Credit Union and Parker Mathis Wealth Advisors are coming and providing some basic financial literacy skills for the parents. Okay. And then we are providing programming for the kids. So parents will learn about 529 accounts, custodial IRAs, credit card responsibility, mortgages, those kinds of things, and they'll get all sorts of resources, but then we'll take care of the kiddos, and all of our programming is also money themed.
That's amazing, and it's money themed, but in a fun way, because this is kind of the activity, right?
Yeah, we don't want it to be boring. We want it to be amazing.
Okay.
So you may have heard of either I Spy bottles or Find It bottles, and that's what we are making today. So these are really, really cool. They're basically like a 3D Where's Waldo kind of thing.
Okay.
And so you can pick up your bottle and you can kind of move it around, and you can like see different little trinkets and things inside of it. And you can kind of play with it in that way. It's also super sensory. It makes a lot of noise. It's really fun. And so what we are doing is we are actually making our own.
Okay.
But you have a budget.
Oh,
So
I see.
all of these different items actually cost money.
Okay.
And so the kiddos will have a budget, and then they'll have to make some hard decisions about what they can and can't put inside of their I Spy bottle. So it's really, really fun.
And how does it work? So is it like the blue rice costs a certain amount, the pink rice, the paper clips, each thing has a different price, or is it rice is rice? How does that work?
Yes, so we actually have, these are our fun dyed rices, which I just thought would be like really fun for TV.
Right.
But if you want just the plain rice, undyed, it's kind of the cheapest option, right?
Okay.
So you could do some plain rice like we've done here if you want, and then you could budget, okay, well, my favorite color is red, so I want to put a
little bit of red
in here.
All right.
Yeah, we might have to just make a mess here, Jaclyn.
We'll make a mess.
We'll make a little hand funnel here.
If it's not a mess, it's not ciLiving if it's not a mess. All right, excellent.
Yes, and so you might mix up some colors. Let's try this. Maybe this will work better.
With the scooper. The edge of the scooper.
Yes.
Perfect. There we go.
Yeah, that's a little bit better, isn't it?
And then maybe some blue rice in there.
We'll get some blue. Yeah, and this is just another point. One of the things I always love to highlight at the museum is that we clean up the mess. So maybe this is like a real pain at your kitchen table, but it's going to be way less of a pain at our kitchen table.
Of course, exactly, because then you don't have to do any of the sweeping.
That's exactly right.
This is kind of reminding me of those sand art bottles. When I was a kid, we used to do sand art, and you would put the funnel, and you would put the different layers of sand, and then you could put a poker thing down and make some. We're going to try all different. I feel like that's part of the fun too.
It totally is. Yes, and it's also, you know, one of the things that we always talk about is fine motor skills, right? So you're building fine motor skills, trying to figure out the best way to sort of get your rice into your little bottle. So then you're going to select what your I Spy items are going to be.
Okay.
So for instance, Legos, super fancy, right?
Okay.
You're going to have to budget for those. You're going to have to make sure that you can afford the Legos. But let's say, okay, I really love Legos, and so I have made sure that I can buy
2 Legos. If I want to buy this butterfly, I probably also have to budget accordingly because that is going to be, it's sort of down in the row with the Legos, right?
Yes, exactly.
So then I just put the butterfly in
You just stick her right in there.
Stick her in, okay.
And then maybe paper clips. Maybe I've got enough money. I can buy, you know, like 6 or 7 paper clips, and I'll stick those right in there.
And then I know the colored rice, each one is a different price. What about like if I want a blue eraser versus a green eraser, is that a different?
Yeah, I don't know what the pricing scheme is on the different colors of erasers. I imagine all erasers are similarly priced.
Everything in the bag.
But I don't know. We'll have to see what supply and demand looks like.
And is there a way for the kids to earn more money if they run out of money or they haven't budgeted accordingly?
You know, Jaclyn, that's a really wonderful idea, and we might have to incorporate that into the class.
Okay. See,
maybe you get some extra funds for being nice or helping another student. So anyway, it's just a really cool project. They get to take these home and they can play with them, and they can kind of in their free time sort of search for them, and they can have their caregivers actually look for the things that they bought. And it's just a really fun project that teaches kids about basic money management.
And I think since you're doing it with the parents and adults, then that also opens conversations for when you get home, then you can talk about, you know, what you learned versus what the kids learned. And then it's an ongoing conversation. I feel like that's a really good way to open the door to money management.
That's the goal. And, you know, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is trying to create generational wealth. And so if you have those skills both in the parents and the kids, that is going to create a really wonderful situation for families moving forward. And that's what I view our role as in the community, is trying to provide those resources so that families can learn and grow together.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. You do so many fun activities and you have so many fun events coming up. So definitely check out the Children's Museum on August 5th if you want to learn about financial wellness with your family.